gentlemen, Bowmaster619 here. Well, it's a little bit later than I had anticipated on, but here we are nonetheless. First ever live bow vlog. So today I'm going to be shooting a very fun bow that I found at a garage sale basically for free, only because I wound up buying it with 3 bamboo swords, and they threw this one in as a bonus. It is a Shakespeare Parabow. We'll go ahead and I'm going to be taking my glasses on and off quite a bit because I can't actually see the screen otherwise. For those of you that don't know, Shakespeare is actually a fishing brand. And here are the dimensions of the bow itself. Solid fiberglass. 35 pounds to 28 inches. String length 53 inches. Alright, there you go. And once again, for whatever reason, my own feed decided to let me know that I am live, which I find still quite amusing. So, may wind up having to move the camera back a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Oh yeah, perfect. Oh yeah, you can see me good. So, as was put in the description, one of the few times I actually do have a description on here, I'm going to be demonstrating the idea behind a few different speed shooting techniques. And this time I actually have my thumb ring, because a fair amount of these are based on the Mongolian draw. Now, a lot of these techniques are ones that I have studied on YouTube, and a lot of them have come, well, maybe not a lot of them, but I'll go ahead and stick with that. A lot of them have come from Lars Anderson, because in his video, if you don't know who Lars Anderson is, he's a very famous archer on the internet. He holds several world records, excuse me, and his videos have had a lot of views on them, and he is world famous for being very fast at shooting. Now, a lot of his techniques, he says, have come from a few different kinds of books that he has read, such as Saracen Archery, as well as a lot of practice. One of his latest videos is talking about how he curves the arrow around a target. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It is actually really freaking cool. But I've noticed that a lot of the techniques that he uses are based with the string, or not the string, the arrows being on the other side of the bow than what you would normally see. And that is because essentially what he does is he holds a lot of arrows in his fingers like this, and then draws back and shoots them. You know, that's not necessarily the best way to actually show that, of course. Whoops, I'm stepping on my arrow. But you get the idea. And I have tried that, and even though it is very tricky, you can do it. Just looking to see if we have anyone. Nope, no one's here yet. But after checking out a few different YouTube channels as well, I've noticed there are several different kinds that are available also to be used. Now, personally for me, I'm actually fairly quick at just loading arrows and shooting. For me, because I've been shooting for so long, it doesn't take that terribly long to actually load up arrows and get the shots off. If anyone's actually keeping count at this point, it would be nice to know just how many arrows I got off in this time frame. Or how quickly I got these arrows off, you know, whichever you want to go with. And a lot of this comes from learning about what is called blind knocking, which is where you're able to knock the arrow without actually looking at the string. Even though a lot of these shots have had me looking down, that's just force of habit. But you get the point. It's not necessarily that difficult to be able to get several shots off at once if you've been shooting for a long time, such as I have. Now, one of the main techniques that I have learned that still uses the Mediterranean release is a very interesting one where you will hold the nocks like this in your hand, and then you will actually bring the arrows up to be nocked and then shoot. Now again, I am severely out of practice with a lot of these techniques, so these are not going to be super fast. And it's been a very long time since I've done this particular hold. Or there's also this one. Either way, for both types, you hold the nocks in between your thumb and your forefinger. Then you basically just lay an arrow down so that you can nock it and then get the next shot off. But like I said, it's been a very long time since I have practiced these techniques, so I'm not going to be quick at this at all. Might have been good to practice this beforehand, but, you know, a lot of my videos are just kind of on the fly. Well, that was a complete miss. Alright, last shot in the quiver. And then we will go and collect the arrows and go on from there. Now, the next few techniques I'm going to show you rely on using the Mongolian release, or thumb draw. That is simply due to the way in which the holds function. Now, I have shot quite a bit of a distance past the target here, which is why I'm collecting my arrows as such, but thankfully it doesn't seem like any of them have gone too far. And for anyone wondering, I am shooting at about 10-15 yards distance. Now, where is it? There we go. I'm going to flip the camera over. Hello. Now we're going to collect the rest of these arrows and get back to it. Now, a lot of these archers and techniques you can look up online and, of course, on YouTube. And it's actually a lot of fun to watch them. At least in my opinion it is. But that's also because I've always had a love of archery and learning as much as I can about it. Now, I don't necessarily know too much in regards to some of the more modern aspects of archery. I haven't bothered to learn too much about forward of center and things of that sort. But, nonetheless, they are still things that I am willing to learn about in the future, and if it is actually necessary for me to learn about for different aspects of it. Forward of center is good to know when you're going out for hunting and things of that sort, and for target shots, simply so you know what the proper trajectory is going to be of your arrow, so you have the proper weight and a few different other things like that. Again, not something I know right off the top of my head. So let's go ahead and move on to some of the other types of speed shooting techniques that are out there. One of the most common, aside from having a quiver, is to simply hold the arrows in the bow hand. So then you can draw an arrow, nock, and release. Another technique that is used that is not necessarily for speed, but that a lot of cultures have used in the past, is to stick the arrows in the ground. That works both for a place to have your arrows as well as for biological warfare. Because think about it, in the dirty, disgusting ground, and then that getting shot into someone, if the arrow doesn't kill them, the infection probably will. Moving on to some of the other types that I know of, is simply enough to actually hold the arrows in your fingers, which is why it's required to have the thumb draw technique for this. And simply enough, you draw the arrow up, nock it. It's been a while since I've used this thumb ring. Then draw back and release. And with some practice, obviously, you can become fairly proficient in these types of techniques. And you can become fairly accurate as well. It's been a very long time since I've shot thumb draw any kind of regularity, but as you can hear in the background, I hope, I am still managing to thwack the target a bit. Now, most of the techniques revolve around holding the arrows in your fingers. And it all varies on where you want to hold them. If you want to hold it really close to the nock, that just speeds up the process a little bit for getting the arrows out, as long as you have the dexterity for it, which I'm hurting a little bit for that right now. But when you're holding them very close to the nock like this, it makes it where you don't have to actually slide the arrow up as I was with the other technique. But I have noticed that a lot of the speed draw methods that revolve around the thumb draw, I think I'm kind of repeating myself here, but they're all essentially the same. You hold the arrows in your fingers. It just depends on where you want to hold them. You can hold them up here by the tips. There we go. You can hold them more in the middle. You can, of course, hold them up by the nocks. And the nice part about this is the fact that you can hold a fair amount of arrows in your hand and keep shooting. If you happen to have a fairly large quiver, or if you have your quiver full but you've managed to find more arrows, you can use some of these techniques to actually hold more arrows and still keep your quiver with some there. One technique that I find... This will happen sometimes when you have these kinds of nocks. Sometimes they'll just pop right out of the bow. That's fine. Just hold on to it for later. Oh yes. The other technique that I remember... She is a Russian archer, if I remember correctly, and honestly, she looks a lot like Merida from Brave. She's got the very curly, poofy red hair. She's an archer, and she's a darn good archer. And she has a backdraw technique. And I've watched through it several times, and I'm still not entirely sure how it works. I'm going to take my thumb ring off for this. But essentially, if I watched it correctly, what she does is she will draw the arrow out, knock it onto the bow, draw with the same motion, and shoot. And then repeat this process. I don't have a back quiver, so that's a little hard for me to do. I can see if my shirt will hold them in place enough to make... Ow! If I can manage to do it without stabbing myself. Oh, those arrows are cold. That might be up too high. But essentially, she reaches back, draws the arrow, knocks it, releases, and then proceeds with the next shot. Which, if you can get the rhythm down, it can be a pretty quick technique. I'm going to go ahead and load these into my shirt like I did those last ones. Ow! Again, attempting to not stab myself. Oh, these are cold. And see just how quickly I can get these 3 shots off. Because the most awkward thing about this technique is how you draw. Because after actually checking on this... we have someone in the stream. Hello. What I've found is that when you draw the arrow out and you hook it on, if you draw with the same motion, you have to draw essentially with only 1 to 2 fingers at most. And it's a little clumsy. But here we go. Let's see how well I can and how fast I can get these 3 shots off. Oh, I think that just went under the fence. Who's here? Hello. Let me get my glove. Hello, Louisa. Nice to see you here. Okay, so those 3 arrows I actually managed to get off fairly quickly, but I think one of them went under the stinking fence. I really hope not, because I don't even know if there's anybody over there anymore. Some of these techniques, if you don't actually bother to learn too much about them first, your accuracy is going to suffer a bit. Ah, crap. It did go under the fence. Shoot. Well, good thing I came this way, because I found one of my other arrows stuck in the snow. Alright, so there's a very brief covering of some of the different techniques for speed shooting. Not very well in depth, because, as I said, it's been a fairly long time since I've actually covered these. But, I think now, since I want to actually make sure I can find my stinking arrows after I'm done shooting, I think I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of trick shot techniques. You'll maybe shoot 2 arrows at once, maybe 3 arrows at once, maybe even go ahead and try shooting with my foot. I tried that in a past video that unfortunately never wound up happening. So, what the heck, why not go ahead and try it again? Besides, this gives me an excuse to do some more shooting. I haven't been able to come out and shoot for a while. So first up, just for the fun of it, we're going to go ahead and shoot 2 arrows at once. Yeah, sure we are, if I can keep them on the string. Well, with a lighter bow like this, they're not going to have quite as good a trajectory. Alright, I still need to put the knock in that one arrow. No. There we go. And now, for the fun of it, let's try and shoot 3 arrows at once and see what happens. And there goes the knock again. Archery is fun. Ah, we have a second person in the stream. Hello! Okay, now I'm going to try something really dumb. Because last time I tried this, it didn't work too well. Okay, get my balance. Holy crap, I hit the target! Ah! I'm good. I didn't fall. Wow. Sadly enough, that was the first target. That was the first arrow that actually hit the target out of those trick shots. Nice. Woo. Okay, I know. How about the flamingo stance? Might have to tilt the camera down a little bit for this. Thank you. Hopefully you guys can see this. Bouncing on one foot and shooting. Oh yeah, much easier. How about bouncing on the opposite foot with the bow upside down? Making sure I'm not hitting the shed here. Okay, that was fun. I haven't tried that shot before. Let's see. Okay. I have not tried this one before, so this is going to be fun. See if I'm even flexible enough to do this. I'm going to have to put this on the other side of the bow. Okay, there we go. Got my balance. Shoot! I think another one just went under the fence. Okay. Hey, yeah, good to see ya. Not just a couple of regular old fun shots. And what the heck? For those of you that missed my last bow vlog where I discussed this release, here's the Hollywood release. That's a fun one to shoot. It is awkward as all heck, I'll tell you, but it's fun. Okay. I know, there's a lot of moving in this one. Pick up the nock. And I'm not sure, but I think I might have just lost 2 arrows. Oh, yeah. Son of a biscuit. Oh, the irony. The arrow I just picked up is the one that's missing the nock. Yeah, let me show you here. See these lines? Right under the daggum fence. And I have no idea if there's anyone over there right now or not, so I might not be getting those arrows back. Oh well. Such is the entertainment business, unfortunately. Such as just being an archer in general. And that's one thing I definitely want to say for anyone who wants to get into archery. It can be expensive to get into right off the bat. Unless you happen to know someone that actually owns arrows, and more importantly bows, and are willing to possibly sell you some for fairly cheap. Trying to get into it on your own right off the bat can be a little bit pricey. But trust me, once you get into it, you're not going to want to quit. Okay. Pull that out so we can get the nock back in it. Oh, come on. Okay, so I cannot hardly see anything right now. I'm going to wait till I get this thing back up on the stand. Let's see. Sup, bow. Well, 1 live stream and 2 arrows later. So I think I might go ahead and wrap this up fairly soon. Just because I'd like to see if there's any way to get my arrows back. But before I do go, I suppose I get into my quiver one more time. And are there any requests for any more slightly crazy shots you would like to see before I do actually sign off for this one? Ooh. I just thought of one just because I just thought of it myself. How about 2 arrows, each on a different side of the bow? Oh, this is not going to end well. Nope, I didn't figure that would work good. Okay. Just because this one actually worked out pretty well last time, I think I'm going to go ahead and try it again. Presuming I can keep my stance here, my balance. Nope, didn't hit the target. What's this? Your most difficult shot. Huh. Most difficult shot. Okay, okay. I'll be right back for this one then. Okay. Can you see the stump? Yes, you can. All right, so this is one that a lot of people seem to have trouble with. Woo! Fudge. I feel like I'm in the circus. Okay, this is much tougher than I thought it would be. I didn't think of this thing moving so much. Okay, I'm not even sure if you guys can see me. Oh yeah, you can see me. So this one isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. But this is very interesting, trying to shoot and balance at the same time. Whew. Okay. Whew. Okay. 2 arrows on the stump. Why not? This is similar to the Bowyer's balance beam. Only difference is this is a friggin' stump that rolls. What the? There goes that knock again. Whew, man, mercy me. Stop being so shaky leg. This is not a time to be shaky leg. Yeah. Darn it. Okay. Oh my goodness. I missed. Whew, okay. Well, 3 shots left. Well, thank you. That was much more difficult than I honestly thought it would be. I didn't think this thing would be so freaking wobbly when I stood on it. That was a lot of fun, though. Whew. All right, well, how long have we even been going? Wow, I've been live streaming for almost 30 minutes. All right, well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for those that have tuned in. Whew. I need to put a little more thought into my next live stream, but you know what? This was a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you for those that have managed to make it. Make sure you share this so other people can see me bouncing like a goof on a log trying to shoot. And I will see you guys in the next video. So, Bowmaster619 out. Take care. We'll see you next time. Take care to you as well. Bye, Louisa, and bye, Yaya. Goodbye till the next one. Yep. Whew. You guys have a great day.